What's going on, y'all? We're back with another reaction video today. We have Everyone is Wrong about Darnell Washington by Thinking Football. I get excited to watch this guy's vids, man. You know, just the narration, the way everything is just like paced. It's just it's smooth. You know, the HD clips. You know, everything is just I don't know. I like it, but you know, the education aspect as well. But again, this video is titled "Everyone is Wrong About Darnell Washington." Now, personally, I seen this highlight video. I'm like, I'm up here with him. I'm like, bro, in the right system, this guy can be amazing. Like, he's deadly, great size, has pretty solid speed, very hard to bring down. So I think he could, you know, like I said, in the right offense, he could definitely be an insane threat. Now he says everyone is wrong. I haven't heard anything bad about him personally, so go ahead, get educated today, see the negatives. And again, I mainly only watch highlight videos, so I never know the full story about most players. So let's go ahead and check them out.
Introducing a Titan from Athens, Georgia, not Greece though. Playing tight end for the two-time national champion Bulldogs, Darnell Washington is a real
crazy. They had Brock Bowers and they got Darnell. Good blocks put out there too.
life giant on the football field. Blocking is his game.
These guys had some weapons. This is crazy.
And lying on the ground, his opponents shall remain. At 6'7", he towers over most defenders and manhandles the rest who dare challenge his physical prowess. Playing most frequently in a two tight end set, Washington saw snaps in line, at H-back, and in the slot.
And that's cool too. The fact that he plays in a two tight end set, you can implement that in almost any offense in the NFL today, because you know most offenses have multiple tight ends. They have multiple tight end sets, and so it's like it wouldn't be I feel like, you know, an ego thing with him. He's used to sharing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if he ends up being your go-to guy, that's a plus too, because then you get to see his full potential. But just a comment.
Not necessarily the most naturally gifted catcher of the ball, there are some concerns about his ability to contribute to an NFL passing game. But as always, let's start with why so many teams see great potential in the young prospect.
He's like, I hate to keep pausing. I apologize, y'all, for those of y'all. We're only 46 seconds in. I hate to keep pausing. Apologies. But he reminds me of the guy that the Colts just drafted last year. He's a 6'7" tight end. Got some nice potential. He reminds me of him, but just bigger, like just a lot heavier. Darnell Washington is a lot heavier. I just can't think of the guy. But that guy, he has some potential for sure. Jelani Woods, yes, yeah. I was pretty high on Jelani. I thought he had some potential. I still think he has a really high ceiling. But like I said, Darnell reminds me of him, just a lot bigger, I feel like a lot more tougher play style. You know, I feel like Jelani a little smoother.
Trust me. You do not want to be bulldozed by this dude. During his time at Georgia, he was constantly clearing lanes for ball carriers, removing defenders from the desired path.
He could block too. That's tough.
This is where you truly see him excelling. Lined up at H-back in Georgia's tight bunch set, the Dogs bring the outermost receiver in motion to lighten the numbers count on the edge before running a quick pitch.
I love to see him with the 49ers. I ain't gonna lie.
Being the lead blocker. Prayers to the defensive back standing in the way of this man. And here's a variation of that same play, this time against LSU. Washington pulls left once more, and any DB is a weak and frail matchup for him. Like the Hulk against Loki, this is just cruel punishment.
I wouldn't mind Texans getting him if he's available.
Back 10 yards and scrapping with him through the whistle. The DB talks his shit for dragging him down, but I'm not sure why, because he's 10 yards downfield. Washington is again the lead blocker on this play of more creative design. Faking the quick toss left, Bennett actually pitches it to the receiver, splitting him and the running back. And instead of pulling to become the back's lead blocker, Darnell will flow under the line to become the lead man for his receiver. He shows great speed to get out in space and then win the edge. turning the DB inside to create a big outside lane.
Well,
Seeing the
he
route
got
to
a
the
2 for
sideline
1.
and the score, the safety panics and over-pursues to cut it off, leaving a cutback lane that the running back sharply cuts into. The SEC refs are doing their best 3 blind mice impression though, missing this gargantuan block in the back. And, well, he's running it home. Take nothing away from Big Zero's block though.
Yeesh.
And here's more lead blocking, this time in a more confined space. Pulling from his stationed H-back position,
I feel like he just
Washington
fits
to
the
the
honor
ball.
system.
What I love about this play is how long Washington sticks with it. The Georgia front do a fantastic job here, creating a path for both the back and lead blocker. Instead of peeling off early and clearing someone out with a double block, Darnell sticks with it, finding the last man in the safety and blocking him to create a lane home. Only a fantastic peel off and chase down by number 40 saves this. I call this next play breakfast. Why, you ask? Well, take a look. Running split zone, Darnell is tasked with trap blocking from H-back. The linebacker thinks he's coming unblocked. But guess who's in the kitchen? Yup, it's Chef Darnell, and he's serving flapjacks all damn day. He's over in a flash and just pancakes the man, allowing the running back a chance to hit the hole and get big yardage for his offense. Hey, it doesn't get much better than that. It's not all just in space where he's effective.
I had no
He's
clue he was
going
this nice of a
one-on-one with the
blocker.
man up from him too.
Did not
Here,
notice.
The dog's trying to go off tackle, and with the safety creeping down and then playing the edge, Darnell simply gets a hold of him and turns him way out the play, allowing his back to the hole, and he's all the way on this one. Hand in the dirt in the natty here, and Darnell is tasked with pinning down on the end, allowing his guard and tackle to get out. Great strength and leverage to blow his man way back off the line, but he gets his head a bit too in front of his toes and can't sustain it more than the initial power blow. His man disengages and helps jump for the tackle, but he doesn't get it until the first down. Lastly here against Tennessee, Washington doesn't get great technique, but he has the strength to just throw his man off balance. Blocking the D end, his punch is too wide and he stands up, losing some of the leverage that he won. But he's strong enough to just lift him up and throw him off balance, almost into the path of the running back. Very close call. If you're this good of a blocker,
good cuts by
then
Kenny
you know for
McIntosh
sure
right
he's
there.
gonna see snaps and pass protection. Here against LSU, it's going to look like the split zone play he pancaked the backer on, but it's actually play action. And
Some people call him an extra O lineman.
The
big O.
got plenty of time getting this to his check down. Against Tennessee, watch as
For real.
Washington firmly combats the rush, holding Bennett's blindside for the deep bomb. The hands have got to learn to get inside the shoulder pads, but there's enough time for Stetson to launch for the big game. Again, with the fake trap block, Darnell's back over to the blind side to protect, creating time for Stetson to find the crosser. That's crucial pass protection he just contributed to right there. And here's more good movement versus Mississippi State. The rusher doesn't offer the biggest of threats, but I love the way Darnell mirrors his feet with his man, shifting inside on the initial rush, then being light enough to kick out and take on the block. Good work. Now, the tight end position has changed substantially in the modern era, and we now live in an age of Travis Kelce's and Jimmy Graham's, where catching the ball is way more important. But please, let's be clear about something. Darnell Washington is not one of those. He operates very much in the traditional tight end mold, a blocker first and foremost.
He moves
and
like
a pass
Gronk.
catcher
Like,
primarily in short yardage and red zone
that's
situations.
kind of how they use him too. But
That
like,
being said, UGA was not afraid to move him around to do so.
kind
Flexed him
of
as a
stiff.
Solo receiver right. Washington runs a simple hitch route, but that ain't
Big
the
tight
story of
end,
this
kind of
play.
stiff.
The Florida D attempts to bring this dude down, but they fail miserably. It takes 4 different guys to stop this, taking it an extra 8 yards when it should have only been just 4. Hit that weight room, boys. Next, against Mississippi State, and a staple play in most teams' playbooks. Again, at the H-back, they'll fake the outside zone left and have Washington run the under and act as a shallow threat in the flood concept. He takes the easy short pass and heads down the sideline for an extra 15 yards. Tackle him at your own demise. And here, the threat of his blocking gets him all alone on the trick play. Darnell initially blocks the backer, giving off the impression that he's locking the backside on a run. But his receiver will get the ball on the end around, and gasp, he's gonna throw the ball. Washington releases the defender and creeps into the flat, catching the floated pass. Simple, clean, and effective.
I think I consider that catch as contested.
Is galloping up the seam. The Dogs bring the receiver in motion, snapping it as he forms a bunch, and TCU can't juggle the coverages and change in numbers fast enough. leaving the giant from Athens running clean up the seam with practically no resistance. He secures the catch at the highest point, almost reaches the end zone, but is brought down by number 14. Real close. In line right here against Florida, Darnell shows good feel for the zone and adjusting his seam. He feels the Gators' quarter coverage and angles in and slows down in the space, showing good athleticism to spin and pull this ball in behind him. He then jump spins out the first tackle, needing 2 dudes to bring him down. Real close. And lastly, got a play from the SEC championship game. He's again running the seam route, but this time there's a mix-up and slow reaction, and Darnell finally gets rewarded for that score. Now, as much as Darnell Washington displayed some incredible blocking ability, and as previously shown, can be an option in the passing game, the dude just has flat-out bad hands. There were just way too many drops on his tape, to the point where you could even see the visual frustration in certain games on the faces of both his quarterback and his head coach. There were some legitimate drive killers, and due to his enormous size and heavy weight, Washington really isn't much of a burner, nor a particularly crisp route runner. Like I said before, I really want to emphasize that this guy is a blocking tight end with some pass catching upside. That's not to say that Darnell can't develop into a phenomenal pass catcher as a professional, but it would certainly take a fair amount of coaching and development from a dedicated staff to get to that point. The other big problem in his game is, for as good as his blocks might look, there's also plenty of sloppy technique throughout his film. Being 6'7", Washington struggled to get low enough in his blocks and tended to play with the wrong pad level when initiating contact. I know that he's extremely tall, so it's difficult to get at the correct level, but it loses him the push he clearly has. His hands are also far too frequently thrown outside the shoulders, leading more to judo moves and turns than chest play pushes. He's above average at resetting hands for a tight end, but way too many blocks start with a wide punch. Teams drafting Darnell Washington are getting a towering fortress of a man with some extremely intriguing measurables, but that's pretty much it. He's someone that I would definitely label as a project player. The size and strength are not teachable, so you've got an amazing canvas to work with, but even his blocking technique is suspect, and he's a non-factor in the passing game right now.
Which I say second, third round?
He could certainly turn to something special, but I would not label him as an immediate contributor. Right now, you're drafting a blocking tight end with suspect technique and just hoping that the measurables turn him into a star.
He got some solid athleticism, though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's not really worth more than a 3rd or 4th round pick.
3rd or 4th.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, we've got plenty more.
All right, man. Okay. Shout out to Thicker Football, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button. I can see a team reaching up in a second for him if they like him enough. Like they see the upside is there. Subscribe. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Ain't no need to play games. I'm cool with zeros on the stat sheet. I don't care if you knew Patrick Mahomes. Them lies you telling won't get past me. If it's meant to be, I'm not gonna ask for a second chance. I'm only gonna ask you once after that, then it's out my hands. I'm not gonna question, just accept it, part of God's plan.